Have you ever wondered how long you could live without spending any money? Not saving money, not spending less, but spending nothing at all. No coffee, no food delivery, no small, it's okay purchases. Just you and whatever you already have. A few weeks ago, I asked myself that question, not because I had to, but because I was curious. I realized something uncomfortable. I was spending money almost every day, not on big things, but on small ones. A drink here, a snack there, a quick online order late at night. Each one felt harmless, almost invisible. But together, they became a habit. So I decided to try something simple. For 5 days, I would spend zero money, no exceptions. At first, it sounded easy. 5 days is not that long, right? I had food at home, I had water, I had everything I needed. Or at least, that's what I thought. The challenge started on a quiet morning. I woke up just like any other day, but something felt different. There was a small voice in my mind, reminding me, today you cannot buy anything. It seemed simple until the first moment came. Around mid-morning, I felt the familiar urge, coffee, not because I was extremely tired, but because it was part of my routine, a habit. I opened my phone almost without thinking. My fingers moved automatically to the usual app, and then I stopped. I remembered the rule, no spending. I put the phone down and sat there for a moment. It felt strange, not difficult, but unfamiliar. That was the first time I realized something important. Sometimes we don't spend money because we need something. We spend it because we are used to it. That small moment was just the beginning, because as the day continued, more situations started to appear. Small ones, normal ones, the kind you never think about, until suddenly, you are not allowed to act the same way anymore. And that's when things became interesting. Because this was not really a challenge about money. It was a challenge about habits, and maybe about something deeper. So I told myself, just get through day one. But I didn't know yet that day one would already change the way I see my daily life. Day one continued, and things started to feel different. Not in a big dramatic way, but in small, quiet moments. Around lunchtime, I felt hungry. Normally, I wouldn't think much. I would open an app, scroll for a few seconds, and order something. Fast, easy, comfortable. But today, that option didn't exist. So I walked into the kitchen, I opened the fridge and just stood there, looking, thinking. There was food, simple food, eggs, some vegetables, leftovers from yesterday. Nothing exciting. And for a moment, I felt disappointed, not because I was starving, but because I couldn't choose what I wanted, only what I already had. That feeling surprised me, because I realized something. I wasn't just eating to be full, I was eating for comfort, for variety, for a small moment of pleasure in the day. So I cooked something simple, quietly, slowly, no phone, no distraction, just the sound of the pan and my own thoughts. And something unexpected happened. The food tasted good. Not amazing, not special, but enough. And maybe that was the point. In the afternoon, another moment came. I felt bored, not tired, not busy, just empty. Normally, I would fix that feeling quickly, watch something, scroll through my phone, maybe buy something small online just to feel a little better. But now, there was nothing to buy, no quick escape. So I sat there. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like something was missing. But after a while, that feeling started to change. The boredom became quiet, then calm. I looked around my room and noticed things I usually ignore. A book I hadn't finished, a notebook, a window with soft light coming in. Simple things, things I already owned. but rarely used. That afternoon, I didn't spend money, but I spent time differently, and that felt new. As the day slowly moved toward evening, I began to understand something. This challenge was not about what I couldn't do. It was about what I had forgotten how to do. Eat simple food, sit with silence, be okay without constant stimulation. Day one was not difficult, but it was revealing. And deep down, I had a feeling. The next few days would not be as easy as this. Day two began more quietly. There was no excitement this time, no curiosity like the first day, just a simple thought in my mind. I'm still not allowed to spend anything. And somehow, that felt heavier than before. In the morning, everything was fine. I made a simple breakfast, drank water instead of coffee again. It wasn't enjoyable, but it was manageable. The real challenge came later. Around midday, a friend sent me a message. Hey, do you want to grab lunch? It was a normal invitation, something I would usually say yes to without thinking. But this time, I paused. I looked at the message for a long moment. It wasn't just about food, it was about connection, sitting together, talking, laughing. And suddenly, this challenge felt different. It was no longer just about money, it was starting to affect my social life. I thought about explaining, about saying, I'm doing a no spending challenge. But something stopped me. It felt strange to say out loud. So I replied simply, maybe another day. After sending that message, I felt a small discomfort. Not regret exactly, but a quiet realization. How many of my social moments were connected to spending? Coffee, lunch, movies. So many simple interactions were built around paying for something. Without money, those moments became harder to access. On that afternoon felt longer than usual, not because I had nothing to do, but because I became more aware of what I was missing, or maybe what I thought I was missing. Later that day, I went for a walk. No destination, no plan, just walking. At first, my mind was busy, thinking about food, thinking about what I couldn't do. But slowly, those thoughts became quieter. I started noticing small things again. The sound of people talking in the distance, the movement of trees in the wind, the rhythm of my own steps. It felt simple, almost too simple, but also strangely peaceful. That was when another thought appeared. Maybe I wasn't missing as much as I believed. Maybe I was just used to filling every moment with something external, something I could buy. As the day ended, I didn't feel proud. I didn't feel successful, but I felt aware, more aware of my habits, my choices, and the quiet connection between money and how I experienced my life. Day two didn't break me, but it made me think more deeply. And somewhere inside, I knew the hardest part was still coming. Day three was where things started to feel real. Not just a challenge anymore, but a quiet pressure building inside. In the morning, I noticed something new. I wasn't thinking about saving money, I was thinking about what I couldn't do. And that small shift changed everything. I opened the fridge again, less food now, fewer choices, still enough, but no longer comfortable. For the first time, I felt a slight tension, not hunger exactly, but a kind of limitation, the kind that makes you pause and calculate. What should I eat now? So I still have enough later? That question stayed in my mind longer than I expected. Later that day, something even more interesting happened. I went outside again, just to walk, just to pass time. And everywhere I looked, I saw spending. People holding coffee cups, sitting in cafes, carrying shopping bags, normal things. Things I usually do too. But now I was on the outside of that world, watching it. And for a brief moment, I felt disconnected. Not because I couldn't join, but because I had chosen not to. That feeling was uncomfortable. It made me realize something deeper. Money is not just about buying things, it's also about belonging, about being part of everyday life. Without it, even simple moments can feel different. In the afternoon, the boredom returned, but this time, it was stronger, not the quiet kind from day one, but a restless kind. I picked up my phone, put it down, walked around the room, sat again. Nothing felt satisfying. And that's when I noticed something important. Before this challenge, I didn't sit with discomfort for long. I would quickly fix it. Buy something, watch something, eat something, always an escape. But now, there was no escape, only the feeling itself. So I stayed with it, minute by minute, and slowly, it changed. The restlessness softened. The tension faded, not completely, but enough. Enough for me to breathe again. That evening, I ate a very simple meal, probably the simplest so far. And something surprising happened. I didn't feel disappointed anymore. I felt calm, not because everything was perfect, but because I was starting to accept the limits of this challenge. Day 3 didn't feel easy, but it felt honest. It showed me clearly how much I depended on small comforts and how uncomfortable it felt to live without them. But at the same time, it also showed me something else, that maybe I was stronger than those habits. And with 2 more days to go, I began to wonder, what would happen if I kept going just a little longer? Day 4 felt quieter, not easier, but more familiar. By now, the rules were clear: no spending, no exceptions. And something inside me had started to adjust. The strong urges from the first days were no longer as loud. Coffee, I didn't think about it as much. Ordering food, not really. It was as if my mind was slowly letting go of those automatic habits. But something else appeared, a deeper kind of tiredness, not physical, not emotional in a dramatic way, just a quiet weight, the kind you feel when life becomes very simple. Same food, same routine, same limits. And that's when I understood something new. Sometimes we don't spend money because we need things. We spend money to feel something different: excitement, comfort, change. Without it, life can feel flat. And that realization stayed with me throughout the day. On day 5, the final day, something unexpected happened. I woke up and I didn't think about the challenge immediately. For a moment, it felt like a normal day. And that surprised me, because just a few days ago, this felt difficult, strange, uncomfortable. Now, it felt natural. I made a simple breakfast again, sat quietly, no rush. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. Later that day, I went outside for a walk. The same streets, the same cafes, the same people, but I saw them differently, not as something I couldn't have, but as something I could choose. That difference changed everything. Because this challenge was never about removing money from my life forever. It was about understanding how I use it and why. When the 5 days ended, I could finally spend money again. But something inside me had shifted. I didn't feel the same urgency, the same automatic desire to buy something quickly. Instead, there was a small pause, a question: do I really need this? Or even more simply, why am I buying this? And that question is something I didn't have before. So, what did I really learn from these 5 days? Not how to live without money forever, but how to live with more awareness. To see the difference between habit and need, between comfort and necessity. And maybe to realize that some of the things we think we need every day, we can actually live without. If this story made you pause and think about your own habits, then it has already done something meaningful. And if you want to continue learning English through calm, real life stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and stay with us.